How many Creed fans we got out there? For the sake of any confusion, I have to specify I'm talking about Creed, the legendary fragrance house, not the early 2000s post-grunge rock band. I mean, whether you are a fan of the band or not, no worries, all are welcome here. We will accept you as an official nostril with arms wide open. Everybody get it? Who's gonna get it? Okay, moving on. Hello there, my nostrils! Dr. Magnifiscent here, and welcome to the Nashville Nose. Yeah. Today we're gonna dive into the history of the legendary, family-owned niche fragrance house of Creed. And Creed has nothing short of an insane following. Fans of Creed date as far back to when the brand was first launched, and it's been around for a while. As legend has it, it was founded in 1760 by James Henry Creed as a tailoring company in London. Supposedly, I think the genesis of the house is still kind of a mystery. But to what I've read, it seems the earliest evidence of Creed's existence as a fragrance house dates back to around the late 60s. They're a family business now based in France, of course, the motherland of perfumery. The current head honchos are Olivier Creed, the 6th generation company runner, along with his son, Erwin. Olivier is credited as being personally responsible for some of their most popular releases in the brand's history, helping to cement their name as being synonymous with class, elegance, and existing among the upper echelons of society. In other words, their shit is really good and it costs a lot of money. Yeah, they're pretty notorious for being priced on the higher side, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much because so many other scent DNAs are so iconic, so beloved. They've been worn by the likes of Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Jackie Kennedy, David Beckham, Laura Bush, and Michelle Obama, just to name a few. So they have a lot of fans all over the clout spectrum, including me, wherever I lie on there, probably more on the lower end, but nonetheless, whatever, still a fan. From the former first ladies to the lowly fragrance content creators on YouTube. One thing we have in common though is we all have nothing but the greatest respect for the trailblazers they are as a niche house, and I hold all of the ones in my collection at an extremely high regard. As of me making this video, I currently own 7 Creeds. These are my 7 favorites out of several samples I've tried, and I have done the nearly impossible task of attempting to rank them from least to most favorite for this video today. But I must remind you, like I always do when I do a ranked list, my dear nostrils, just the fact that I own a bottle from this house should speak volumes. Even though I found them cheaper on discounters, they're still as far from cheapies as you can get. So that means that all of these really spoke to me, regardless of where they rank on today's list. They really, how do I put this? Took me higher. Sorry. That's the last one, I swear. I don't mind paying a little bit extra for these original scent DNAs. I guess that would just be my sacrifice. They just keep coming. Okay, that was the last one. Before we get started though, I always want to utilize my best Jedi mind trick equivalent to persuade you to please subscribe. It's the best way to support this channel. It's free for you, it means the world to us, and you get the added benefit of enjoying the non-stop fun, because that's what we provide. Great smelling non-stop fun over here. Okay, let's get after it. The doctor is now in. Coming in at number 7 of my Creeds is Original Santal. I love Original Santal, even though it's coming in last. And the reason I put this here is because out of all the Creeds I own, I feel like this one is the most safe. But that's fine with me, because that's kind of the reason I got it. It smells classy, elegant, and well elevated above the designer mainstream. The sandalwood accord in here is lovely. It has this clean, fresh feel to it. Like, this would be a great choice for an office scent, especially if you want to impress your boss. This may help you get that corner office. You know, the one with the bay window and the wraparound bench. Not the other corner office overlooking the off-ramp of I-95. F that shit. The one overlooking the apple tree. Oh, listen, can you hear that cheery little woodpecker just pecking away, looking for bugs? Hello, little friend. In fact, I'll bet you anything this is what Peter Gibbons was wearing at Initech when he had his meeting with the Bobs. Obviously, sandalwood is the dominant note here, along with juniper berries, lavender, ginger, rosemary, petitgrain, coriander, and just a little sweetness from vanilla, tonka bean, and cinnamon. Really smooth and nice. Maybe to some, it could be considered too safe for the price they're asking, but to me, it's all about quality, and their fragrances are undoubtedly top shelf smelling. I would just suggest getting it on a discount cause, no offense, Creed, but especially when it comes to retail price, I feel like you're kind of paying for the name. But I can't be mad at that because you are a legendary house and you have legendary, incredible, original, iconic scent DNAs. So that being said, do consider the discounters if you're Creed shopping. Thank you. I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, coming in at number 6. I hear the same common complaint for this one as I do for Original Santal. It's Viking. People sometimes claim that they were expecting something super intense and crazy with the name, then just basically getting a more refined version of something like Old Spice. Woo, so good though. To which I say, hey, if you like Old Spice, you will love this. This is like Old Spice-zilla. I got this because I like that scent, and I love what they did with it. Almost leaning in the direction of a barbershop fougere, but like you're standing right outside the most immaculate world-class barbershop you've ever seen. Does that paint a picture for you? Pink pepper, spicy mint, citrus, lavender, Bulgarian rose, clove, allspice, vetiver, cedar, and my favorite note in here, absinthe, putting it in the boozy category. I do love my boozy scents, and that's partially what sold me on Viking. Okay, it may not be super original, but I love it. And it has pretty decent performance, which is rare for a lot of Creeds, at least for me. Now getting into the top 5, I'm gonna put a scent here that I fell for immediately at first whiff, and it's Himalaya. Love, love, love Himalaya. It's very unique, fresh and musky, a great versatile scent for warmer months. The only reason it isn't ranked higher than this is strictly because of performance. Doesn't last very long, but it is on the lower price range for most Creeds, so it really doesn't bother me. The scent is just too good to turn down. Grapefruit, lemon, and bergamot in the open, so it's super zingy when you first spray it on. Then the woods come in, sandalwood and cedar, just nice and fresh and easy. A twinge of ambergris taking it a little left of center, and the musk doesn't let up throughout the whole evolution of this scent. Regardless of performance, this is a scent I recommend everyone try. Fresh and sexy. Hey, kind of like me. No? Okay. Well, that's your opinion. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know there are 2 fragrances out there which usually end up the butt of several jokes. First is obvious, Sauvage, the biggest hype monster ever. And by monster, I mean he literally jumps out of the closet and scares children. Probably thanks to the Ambroxan. Might as well call it Dior Babadook. And the other one talked to death is of course the king himself. You knew it would have to be on this list somewhere. It's probably the single fragrance you associate with the House of Creed. It's of course the legendary Aventus! Dizzy. So right now you may be thinking, well, if it's such a king, why would it be only at number 4? Yes, that's how you sound in my head. And again, if you've been following me for a while, you already know that this scent is undeniable of a groundbreaker as it was and still is. It ain't like the old batches when it comes to overall smell and especially performance. According to what I've heard from other fragrance enthusiasts who were around when this was released, they mostly all say the same thing. It's not nearly the beast it used to be. That's why I always suggest you try Nishane's Hashavat. If you really want a turbo beast of something kind of similar. You may already know this, but it's famous for its pineapple. In fact, any other scent on the planet with a pineapple note automatically gets compared. That's how insanely famous this scent DNA is. It's described as a mature, ritzy, smoky, woody pineapple with bergamot, blackcurrant, apple, patchouli, Moroccan jasmine, rose, musk, oak moss, ambergris, a touch of vanilla, albeit a very tiny touch, and the prominent woody note of birch. For as much as I talk about the reformulations and how they've sadly butchered the performance, I ended up getting it anyway solely for the respect I have for it. It still screams upper class, and I did find it at a good price on a discounter. I don't wear it all the time. If I want something like this, I usually reach for Hashavat, and I like to save the OG for very special occasions. What I usually do is just take a little travel atomizer with me when I'm out, so I can reapply and keep that handsome legendary scent pumping all night. Aventus, you have to respect. I'll say it again. It's the king, baby. Now the number 3 spot. And Aventus is tough to top, but if anyone could knock him out of the top 3, it would be this guy. Royal Oud. I've had my eye on this one for the longest time and could never find it on any of my usual trusted discounters. But I got crazy lucky, stumbled across it on Joma Shop and pounced on it immediately like a cat on a rat. It's one that I wasn't crazy about at first, but it really grew on me. What can I say? It's absolutely beautiful and just an overall elegant and regal smelling scent. The title is fitting because it smells like royalty. The only strange thing about the name to me though is the oud part. It does have an agarwood accord, but compared to a lot of other oud-based scents which can give off that pungent barnyard animalic waft that curls your nose hairs. Hey, if that's your thing, there's plenty of those kinds of strong oud-based fragrances out there that go well above and beyond the call of duty. Everybody get it who's gonna get it? Okay, moving on. This to me is anything but that. I'm sure they're not using natural oud oils. Natural oud is something rarely used nowadays. Apparently it's a ridiculously expensive raw material. Other notes include bergamot, lemon, pink pepper, cedar, sandalwood, musk, Angelica gallibanum. That's a first for that one. I'm so excited I finally have it, and I will be giving this a lot of wear in the fall. For my number 2 pick today, I'm going with another love at first sniff, and this one is Silver Mountain Water. I love this one on scent and performance. It's one of those rare creeds that really fills the room, if you so dare to. So, little backstory on how I discovered this. I smelled it at Nordstrom on a test strip, loved it, found it on a discounter, and ordered it that same day. Then when it finally arrived and I sprayed it on my skin for the first time, it smelled different, but not in a bad way. Just in a sort of, oh, that's different kind of way. I quickly looked at some reviews, and a lot of people said it had an inky feel, like the smell of ink from a pen or an inkwell, which is why I always encourage the importance of testing on your skin. Don't purchase anything on the test strip alone. It's not gonna give a fragrance its full justice. This was back before I knew any better and thought that that was the way it was. So when I finally did test it on my skin, at first I was like, uh-oh. But then I let it fully open up, develop, and dry down on my skin. It does have a little bit of that inky feel to it, and I thought that I wasn't gonna like that, but turns out I kinda do. I think it makes it really unique and really different, and I actually ended up loving it. What it is technically is a tea scent. It has a green tea leaf accord, as well as bergamot, mandarin orange, black currant, petitgrain, sandalwood, gallibanum, and musk. I gotta say, Creed has their musks on lock. It's such an incredible and unique scent DNA. I absolutely love it. And the performance on it, at least on my skin, is stellar. So on all merits, it definitely ranks really high in my book. And it probably would have made number 1 in my list today, but there's another one in my collection that just eked its way to first place. It's the crazy popular, some may argue the most popular, probably not though, I believe that would most definitely go to Aventus. Besides Aventus, when you think about Creed, you also probably think about Green Irish Tweed. Ah, my go-to spring fragrance, 100%. No stranger to this channel, I talk about it quite a lot. This, I still believe, is the perfect gateway fougere. For those who are only familiar with the mainstream designer blue freshies. Any Sauvage fans out there? Oh yeah, boy! Okay, spare me your, hey, you, Doc, comment. I kid. If you're only used to that style of fragrance and you're wanting to kind of dabble into the more niche territories while also not wanting to get too crazy, because the more you dig into the indie niche world, you can stumble on some really bitter and earthy fougères. And those have their time and place for sure, but Green Irish Tweed is definitely more on the easy, wearable side, but yet still classy and sophisticated. It's the older gentleman who's still young at heart, or the younger gentleman who's wise beyond their years. Call it the ultimate zaddy fragrance. Okay, I'm just shooting from the hip here. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, it's a banger. It's a banger. And a staple in every collection, I think, whether you're a fougere nut or whether you just want that one token green barbershop style scent in your collection. If you were to only own one, it's perfectly rounded and basically covers nearly every fougere subgenre. Notes are lemon verbena. Of course, it's famous for its lemon verbena. Also iris, violet leaf, sandalwood, and just a touch of ambergris. Shockingly, no lavender or oak moss. I guess the proportions of the other notes have it all covered. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan. It's masculine leaning, but you all know my stance on gendering fragrances. I say if you love it, in reality, every fragrance is androgynous. I'm always a firm believer that anyone can wear anything that they like regardless of how it's marketed. It's just a beautiful and legendary scent DNA, and to a lot of other Creed fans, this one also ranks really high as one of their favorites of all time. Also, on performance, this thing won't let you down. It's definitely one of the best performing Creeds you can get today. I suggest you get it ASAP before it ends up getting butchered like, you know. So I think it's safe to categorize this one as living legend. Well, hey, Thanks for jumping on the Creed train with me today and discussing some of my favorites from this classic house. Did I not promise I'd take you higher? Their fragrance could make blind men see. Okay, that was the last one. They're a super popular niche brand for a reason. For as long as they've been around and how much they're still killing the game, gotta tip my hat. And I gotta tip my hat to you out there watching. I appreciate the support, and I would love to hear from you in the comments about some of your favorite Creeds, as well as any other perfume houses you'd like me to take a deep dive into. Cause you know it ain't just a fragrance channel, it's a community. And if you wanna support this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Come on, you know you wanna see more. Hit that like button and ding the bell so you'll be the first to know next time we drop some of this iconic content. I'm sure that my next generation will keep this channel growing throughout the decades, just like the Creed family. But for now, I, Dr. Magnificent the First, am ready to retire for the evening. Stay smelly, my dear nostrils. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, the doctor is out.